episode of Financial Freeway. My name is David J. Atwood. I'm the man rocking the Ray-Bans, and today we are in the middle of nowhere. I'm just getting off the road here. I was just driving down this little gravel road, and now I got to get back onto the Trans-Canada because I got somewhere I got to be, and I honestly do not know how to get out of where I'm at right now. So we're just going to drive around for a bit, and I thought, you know what? Let's make a podcast. So I haven't posted for the last couple of days because I was going through some stuff. And just real quick, I'll just tell you some of the things that was going on. Number one, I ended up, it was my last night as the president of the Victoria Magic Circle. And I don't know if this is the narcissistic view I have of my world, but I had in my mind put together a speech, a thank you speech, I don't know, an exit speech, in case they all stood up and started clapping their hands for me and saying what a great job I did. And I had that chambered. And when the night was over, when everything was said and done, and it was my last day, and everything was done, there was no such let's give Dave a big round of applause for doing such a great job as the president of the Victoria Magic Circle. So I felt very upset about that, and I went home and I ruminated on that a little bit, and I really don't know if that was I don't know if it was the appropriate feeling, but I realized that we can't do things like that, no matter how painful and hard and demanding and taxing it is. We can't do things like that in the hopes of getting recognition. We have to do the job, and we have to take pleasure from the job, and we have to take whatever we can from it. I may be able to take some sort of the notoriety for being the president for a year, possibly. It is another tick on my resume, which is nice. And, you know, if I do decide to go for a supervisory position at work, you know, maybe I could put that down to some leadership. So there is some things I get from it, from that way. So I think it's important, no matter what we do, we have to find the high points within ourselves. And it sounds kind of kumbaya-ish, but the reality is we cannot be waiting for that pat on the back, that thank you, that congratulations. We have to enjoy the task itself. The joy needs to be in the job. It has to be. And if you're looking for in your life for that, and even if it's remuneration, even if it's money, even if it's financial, I found that there's this point where you get to, no matter what, and I was just talking with my daughter about that, you can get to a point where the money you have is no longer, it no longer resonates, no longer makes things better for you. In fact, you can almost get annoyed by it. You almost get upset by that, because it holds you. It can become like a prison. So it has to be their job. And I think about this all the time. Like, people become real estate agents for the money. Soon the money does not work. It does not make it enjoyable enough to continue doing the work. And so be careful if you're using money as your motivator for what you're doing. Because I was trying to break it down for her. She doesn't like what she's doing. She's not proud of it. And I said, and she wants to go into doing a whole different career. And I said, great. So you're going to get into the entry level position of that career, and which is great, which is I'm all for. But then how long is it going to take before you don't like that job anymore, or something about the job itself is no longer great? So we were able to break it down to, she wanted to have more confidence in her income. That's really what it was. She wanted a job where she was getting more regular hours, and the income was. So I said, what you want is you want a steady paycheck, is what you want. And some people, that's a legitimate a security concern. That's a legitimate thing that people need in their lives in order to feel safe and confident. So I understand that. So I think when we're looking to do anything, we really have to break it down as to, and again, ask that extra question, why? Why do we want to do this? The truth is, with the Magic Circle, my why this year, as stepping up to the executive position, was because I truly do love the club, and I truly wasn't in concern that it's in peril of collapsing, and I felt it needed some things to be changed, and I made those changes, and I'm very, very happy about it. I changed the location, and I brought in some ceremony that I thought was much needed, because I feel that the club needed to do something more than just have a place where guys can hang out and do magic tricks, because they can do that online, and that's what's been happening. And I think that's why a lot of organizations have dwindling memberships, is because people can start to do these things online. So they are, and that means we're losing members. You lose members, there's no club. It's really that straightforward. So I can't walk away feeling upset that I didn't get the accolades that I was looking for, because it wasn't about that in the beginning. I didn't take on the role so one day people would clap for me when they heard my name. That's not what I wanted. And it was a hard role. And the funny thing is I've also been a leader with a union, and I had more pats on the back, more handshakes, more congratulations for doing that job, which was a lot easier than being the president of this club, because the president of this club is completely volunteer, and all it is I said to someone, being president means you're going through and screening a lot of negative feedback emails you're getting from people, so be prepared for that. So I think the real big thing here, the real big takeaway is you have to find joy in what you're doing. You have to find joy in every day. And you have to find joy in what you're doing, and maybe even going a little bit deeper into the why you're doing it. And if it's about accolades, and if it's about remuneration, it will become a burden on you. Remember that. Now, another thing that happened was I ended up finding out 2 days ago that a friend of mine suddenly passed. What are you doing, buddy? You just gonna sit there and not let me in? Okay. A friend of mine, a good friend, passed suddenly, quite unexpectedly, on Tuesday, and it really affected me, because he was a very positive person, very uplifting, very inspirational. And I'm not saying that a lot of people do tend to saint people when they pass, because they want to speak positively of the person. And I'm not doing that because he's passed. I'm doing that because he truly was an inspirational person. He truly was a great man. And the funny thing is we had spoken many times about the fact that he worked out. He worked out in the morning, and we got to know each other in the gym. Well, sorry, we didn't get to know each other in the gym. We only waved at each other in the gym. Let's be honest. We just waved at each other. We said good morning in the gym, and that's it. We never had a conversation in the gym. But when we got to work, we would have conversations about things, about life, because we got to see each other, we got to know each other. And he told me that he worked out in the morning, and he also worked out at night. Tons of cardio. That's all he ever did. And he passed. Well, we were speaking about why he worked out so much, and he said the reason he did is because he didn't ever want to get sick or crippled or injured. He wanted to stay fit and healthy, so when the time came that he had to be called back home, it would be quick. It wouldn't be a long... He said that's what he called it the death lottery. He said by doing that, you're winning the death lottery. And the death lottery is, of course, dying without sickness and illness. Almost as if he manifested it. That's exactly what happened. He had a massive heart attack and passed away. And as sad as I am that he's gone, because I really am sad, and I miss his presence. And it's funny because we worked together. He worked like 4 feet away from me every day for 2 years. And I when someone told me he passed, I was like, I couldn't believe it. So as much as I miss him and I miss his presence and I miss seeing him, because I would go in the treadmill and he'd be on the little I don't know, the elliptical, I guess it's the elliptical machine. I'm gonna miss seeing there. I'm gonna miss waving to him in the morning and miss talking to him in the beginning of the day. But there was a little part of me that was kind of relieved that that's what happened. Like, it was, it wasn't a car accident. It wasn't a cancer. It wasn't. He didn't take the D train out, or the S train, as some people call it. He kind of, this is kind of what he wanted, and it made me realize that, I know it's important to stay healthy financially, mentally, physically, all that stuff, and it is. But what I thought was really important, the important lesson I got from all of that was, you never know when your times come, and it's so true. We talk about it all the time, but you don't feel it until you feel it. They just become words, and he was a prime example of you never know. So live your life. Don't live for the paycheck. Don't live for the pat on the back and the cheers and, being hoisted up on someone's shoulders. Live for yourself. Live for the moment. You always have to plan for the future. You have to. Plan as if you're going to live to be 100, but live as if you're going to die tomorrow. So that's why I didn't put out a video in the last couple of days. I was pretty emotional about that. And I toasted him a little cheers last night as my little send-off to him. And just live for the moment, be happy. Don't look for that paycheck. Don't look for the recognition. Don't look for the certificates and the awards and the handshake and the medals. Do it because you're doing it, because you love it. Find passion in what you do. Find passion in the day. Anyways, folks, thanks so much for listening. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. I'm noticing you aren't watching out hitting the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. It helps. God bless you for the people who are doing it. But come on, guys. Help me out here. And make sure you check out the website, financialfreeway23.ca. That's where all the good stuff is. And, of course, as I always say, spread the word. Spread the good news. Because we want everyone in the world to know that they have the inalienable right to the life, to live a life of success and abundance. Thanks so much, and wherever you are in this gorgeous world today, on this beautiful, sunshiny day, God